technical presentation on AWS by Miraz Ashtarab for the class Capstone 2. AWS is a product of Amazon. We'll start by talking about the benefits of using AWS, some of the services that AWS offers, what those services can be used for, and what employers are looking for in potential candidates. First, let's talk about some of the benefits of AWS. There are many services available for developers, everything from just hosting a random website to running algorithms on a quantum computer to getting data from a satellite. If you have any of those needs, AWS has it and can provide a service for it. On AWS, you pay for just what you use. There's different tiers for different levels of usage. And in many cases, it can be tremendously cheaper than just using third-party services or dedicated, like for example, hosting pages. AWS, the good thing about AWS is that it's flexible and developers can use most operating systems, any programming language, any web app platforms. It does this by creating a cloud environment that developers can upload their code to and run or develop on. They have made it a mission to ensure that all the servers are secure at their server facilities and server farms. And also, whether you're developing a website or running gaming servers on AWS, you can always expect max performance. And since it is a tiers cost system, it is extremely easy to scale for any development, where in the beginning you start paying very little and it grows as you get more and more traffic. Also, having their global infrastructure reaching all over the world means developers can get reliable service everywhere and get traffic from everywhere around the world. AWS is a major part of Amazon, and they're planning to stay around for a long time. And they have already many large corporations using their services. And that's what makes them reliable, because they're getting most of their revenue streams from the large companies, and if they don't provide a reliable service, they will go elsewhere. And they also want to make sure that they're always up to date on the latest and most intriguing products, so that they can attract bigger companies, bigger clients, etc. Now I'll talk a little about the different services that they offer. So they have something called S3 bucket, which is for storage management. It's like just for storing data. It's fast, it's reliable. And they also have a subsection that's called S2 buckets, which are a little slower, but again, like this is all based on cost, right? So S3 is more expensive than S2. That's why S2 is mostly used for archiving data and like having like these large amounts of data just sitting. Data in S3 is managed by AWS. So which means that if majority of the traffic is from Europe, AWS automatically moves the data to an S3 bucket that's attached to that region to ensure that they can reach the customers really quick. They have a service called Ground Station, which is used for satellite communication. It lets companies access AWS's own satellites, or if a company has satellites in orbit, they can actually use Ground Station to manage the satellite, which is pretty cool. Another service they have is Deep Lens, which is a software that can be uploaded to, for example, a Raspberry Pi. And then Deep Lens, with the help of course, a camera, can then perform many services with deep learning. In our capstone project, we used RoboMaker a lot, and that's for developing robotics using on the ROS framework, using libraries that they're called kinetic or melodic, which is pretty cool. Another service they offer is SageMaker, which is for creating models for machine learning. And those models can be used for a wide variety of things, anywhere from chatbots to like anything that can be taught how to do things. A lot of time it's actually used in conjunction with either the Deep Lens or the RoboMaker where you create a machine learning model there and you train it, you evaluate it, and then you can basically then put it on your either robot or like a deep lens hardware. Another service they offer is called GameLift, which I found very interesting. It's a service where game studios can use to basically host their servers, game servers, for let's say multiplayer games and P2P connections, and it's really fast. Cloud9 is a fully integrated IDE that AWS offers, and it supports any language. It's built on top of Ubuntu and contains all the Ubuntu libraries, and you can always install more as you go, but it has already most of the libraries pre-installed for the convenience of the developer. Some use cases, like S3 buckets, like I said, like can be used for hosting a website, and the cost is basically just, it's so low that it's ridiculous. So if you get more traffic to your website, obviously you pay a little more, but if you get no traffic, you pay like it's 1/10 of a cent per month if you have no traffic, of course. Ground station is currently being used by like natural disaster companies such as like Red Cross, where they can get visual information from the satellites to like certain areas that's been like impacted by natural disasters, which is really awesome. Deep lens, many like home security companies use deep lens for their like fingerprint biometric locks and things like that. And their cameras to like, their camera can be used for like recognition of like facial recognition, object detection, and activity recognition, report back to the server. It again, like using SageMaker, you can do those models and then apply that onto your deep lens model, which makes it really powerful. RoboMaker, like Amazon's distribution facilities, use robots that were developed on RoboMaker, and it's, I mean, they need those robots to increase their productivity, which means that like it's being used very productively. One of the benefits that RoboMaker has is its fleet management section, which allows like pushing updates using Greengrass, which is another service. But using Greengrass, it can push those updates to the whole fleet of robots within like minutes. SageMaker, machine learning models that are used to like develop chatbots on websites, which can lower the cost of customer service aspect of a company's like severely, which makes it really powerful. Down here below, we can see a picture of the game For Honor, which was developed by Ubisoft, and their multiplayer section is run on GameLift, which for their multiplayer platform, they're able to provide very fast connectivity by utilizing Amazon's gigantic network infrastructure to ensure low latency. A game like For Honor requires a lot of computing power, which means that on a regular server, gamers will experience very high latency. But since they're using the GameLift, they're able to distribute the connectivity between all the different regions and actually get a much lower latency. And Cloud9 can be used for any code development since it's fully integrated with all the languages, like I said before, and have already tons of pre-installed libraries on there. Employer interest. I've had a chance to speak with many professionals in the field, and they mentioned that having any type of certification on AWS will make them much better candidates for the companies that are hiring developers. And AWS itself offers a very wide range of different certifications, anything from like cloud computing to SysOps to cybersecurity and more. There's also other companies that have licensed certification from AWS, which means that they can issue a certification to people that take their class on behalf of AWS. And like I'm currently in one that covers about 50% of AWS, and I've been learning a lot about it, so I can tell that it's really powerful. And also like being able to state on our resume that we have an AWS certification can make the difference in whether we're considered as a candidate for many companies that are currently doing most of their services on the cloud. That's a little about AWS. Hope it piqued your interest.